Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills with the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to the essential pages of a successful website. And again, my name is Christina Hills. I am an international WordPress coach and teacher. My passion and gift is teaching technology and making it easy. My corporate background was as a visual effects artist. And this was before I had my daughter and before I became an online entrepreneur. I worked for George Lucas's company, Industrial Light and Magic. And I worked on such films as Star Wars, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and Jurassic Park 2. But I'm here to talk to you about how to help you create a website that reflects your true nature as a soul-inspired person. Now, whether you want to build a spiritual website, which is my passion, or a business site, which I think most people here want to build a website or update their website for their own business. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the essential pages of a successful website that attracts your perfect client. And so I'm just going to jump right into it. This is called a wireframe, and I'm going to talk about this wireframe. And that is a terminology that web designers use. If you hire an expensive, fancy web designer, they'll make some kind of wireframe for you. But it's a visual way to understand a website. So your website's made of various pages. Home page, programs and services page, and underneath it you might actually have coaching or courses, an about page, a contact page, an FAQ page, testimonials page, and a blog. So these are the basic pages, and I'm going to walk you through these. So first off, your home page. This is my home page at websitecreationworkshop.com. And then here's my home page. Then I have a programs page, an about page, a contact page, and my blog. And I have lots of other pages as well, but these are the basics. And I wanted to show you one of my students, Natasha, and this is her home page. And she just went through the website creation workshop. And so here you see her home page, her programs page, her about page, her contact page, and her blog. And she built this all by herself, and she's truly thrilled. So what we're going to do is first tour these pages, right? I call them interior pages. These pages inside your site. And then we're going to discuss the home page last, right? And I'll tell you why in a bit, why we discuss the home page last. All right, so let's just start with our services. Many of us are here working online offering services. So your services page, spell out the services you offer people. It could be phone coaching or consulting. Maybe you do Zoom calls, in-person coaching, etc. And you can call it services, you can call it coaching, you can call it work with me, sort of how you work with your clients. Providing services for people is a great way to transition from a corporate job to becoming an online entrepreneur. And that's how I got started in my business. I did setup services for people before I started my group coaching and training programs. So here is Natasha's site, and here she has her programs and services. She puts it together, and when you hover over it, there's a drop down of her different services. And here is her services listed. Now, you don't have to be offering services. I know many writers, they don't have services. You might have a products or programs page, and if you're an author, this might be called your books page. So your products or programs page, where you spell out the products or programs you offer people. So I think of a product as something you're either shipping in the mail, or maybe it's a home study course, or it's a PDF. Your products or programs could be group coaching, events, digital products, online courses, physical products, ebooks. There's many different ways you can think about it. So here's some examples: coaching, courses, trainings, products, programs, consulting, books, speaking. So your services or your products or programs, some people are going to have both, and some people might just have one or the other. So here's my programs page. When you go to my website, at the top it says programs, and these are the different programs I run because I love doing group coaching and I love doing online trainings. Here's a couple screenshots from two of my students. This gal has a reflexology university, online university, so that's her programs page. And then here's another one of my students who's an author, and so she has a books page. And then more of my students, this gal does online classes, and this other gal, she does it for body movement, and then this gal teaches prenatal classes. You can also have in-person classes. Now, I'm not saying everybody here has to be teaching online classes. I'm just showing you some examples of possibilities that you can do on your website. And I love this gal. I mean, I wish I were 7 years old and I could go to her Wild Heart Nature School in person camp. Then another one of my students, and as I've been showing you these screenshots, you'll notice how different every website looks. And that's why I've been teaching how to build websites for the past 16 years, because every student goes through the program, creates their own unique expression of who they are. And then this one from Donna, she has a coaching package, her coaching package and programs, and she calls it Work With Me. So you can label it whatever resonates with you. And as I said, if you don't have any products or programs yet, you can skip creating this until you're ready, or if you even want to. I know many authors don't have products or programs pages, and some consultants never create programs because they do one-on-one phone or in-person consulting. All right, so let's jump over to an About Us page. And I love talking about your About Us page. And some people refer to it as your bio page. This is where you brag about yourself, right? You want to put in your unique talent and ability and why you can help them. This is where you show who you are, whom you serve, and why people would want to work with you. Show off your experience, your training, your credentials. And this is one of the first places people go when they visit a website. And I know it's something that I always do. I look at a person's About Us page. On your About Us page, make sure that you have your full name, your picture, and how people can contact you, or a link to your contact page. So you want to, somewhere on the page, make sure you have your full name. And in this instance, I have it twice. And I also have my picture. So you want to make sure you have a picture. Now, if you are a company or a group, or maybe you're an animal shelter, and so you would have everybody who's part of your group or company. So you could do that as well. Now, typically, your About Us page is written in the third person, as if someone else is talking about you. So mine says, Christina Hills is a teacher, trainer, and mentor when it comes to building an online business. she created the website, and I go on. It's in the third person. Um, you can put your purpose in business, who your ideal clients are and why, and any credentials or accomplishments you have. As I mentioned, this is also referred to as your bio page. So I like to have it in the third person as if someone is introducing me. And here's Natasha's. I'm going to be showing Natasha's site throughout this webinar as an example. But then I have other students, and she also has hers in the third person, and she does leadership development. And so this is a screenshot of her about page. Now, some people do put it in the first person, and really you get to decide. This is the great thing about building and creating your website yourself. You get to be the master of your own domain and decide how to do it. So she says she helps people transform their homes. And so she says, "Hi, I'm Randy." Now, she has her name up here, so that's fine. I would prefer she said, "Hi, I'm Randy DeStefano," but it's up to you. So as I'm talking and as you're thinking, you want to think about your own website and what's going to resonate with you. But here's the thing about your About Us page. Don't get stuck on making it perfect. You can always update it later. And this is why I'm such a proponent of people knowing how to manage your website yourself, because you don't have to get stuck on, oh, I have to have it all done, so I give it to the web designer. You can change it later in the day or tomorrow or whatever. It's very empowering to be able to make these changes whenever you want. All right, so here's the thing. You want to have your page URL match what the page is about. So page URL, and hopefully you know what the word page URL means. It means your link. Okay, that's the page URL. So mine says about-Christina-Hills. Sometimes it just says about or about us. And this is referred to as a slug, right? So that's a terminology. What is the slug? This is the slug. So it will be referred to as the page URL, the link, or possibly the slug. And I don't know if have you ever heard of that term slug before? You can just write that in the chat. So that is the slug. Because I'll get to a page on somebody's site and then I'll look at the URL and I'm like, well, that doesn't match what it's about. So that's kind of a techie term, the slug. So maybe you don't hear it that often. Most people say link or URL. And okay, let me keep going. So let's talk about our Contact Us page, right? The Contact Us page. This page should have you or your business name on it, and it should list the methods you want people contacting you. Phone, email, contact form. Some people have a contact form. I have some screenshots of that. Physical address, if it's appropriate. Explain on your contact page what will happen when they contact you. For example, we'll respond by email within 24 to 48 hours, or we respond to all phone calls on the next business day. So it's how you want to respond to people, right, on your contact page. So people want to know that you're a real person before doing business with you, and having a physical address really helps bring that credibility. But here's the thing, do not list your home address. Let me say that one more time. Do not list your home address on your website. You don't want people randomly showing up at your home. So I typically recommend people getting mailboxes, etc., or UPS store or a PO box for your contact page, not to list your home address. Or if you have a business address, that's fine too. All right, so Natasha, when I went to take a screenshot of her contact page, I love how she has a schedule a call as the first thing you see. Now, here is her contact form, right, that you can fill out if you want to send her a message. But what she really wants to do, and I just think this is brilliant, is she wants people to get on the phone with her and schedule a call so that she can get to know the person and and see if you're a fit for each other. Here is Denise's, and I have other screenshots of her site later on. And you go to her contact link, and you can see here is her form. And you can either enter a question or request a 30-minute consultation. So either one, and then you can fill out the send request. And here's how you can set up an appointment with her. Okay, so back to my contact us page, and actually I really should have a screenshot, and maybe during the Q&A, if someone reminds me, I can show how I have all the different ways to contact me on my contact us form. And I happen to love maps. I don't know if you like maps. I love maps, so I included a map of San Diego here on my contact us page. All right, so that was the contact us page. Moving along, let's talk about your privacy policy page. A privacy policy page is now built into WordPress, and they make it easy. So today's training is not specifically about WordPress, and if you don't know what WordPress is, it is a platform to build websites on. But it's all built in, and anybody who has a website should have a privacy policy page. Your privacy policy explains how any personal data collected on your website will be handled. You might be thinking you're not collecting any personal data from anybody, but it's quite likely that your website technology is automatically doing it. So this is one of those annoying rules. When you have a website, you have to have a privacy policy. And you want to put it at the bottom of your site, right? So here's one of my students, Lindy, and down at the bottom, she's got a little menu in her copyright, and she has a privacy policy. So don't put the privacy policy at the top, put it at the bottom. The only instance where you might have it at the top is if you're some kind of financial advisor and you have to have it at the top. But most people have the privacy policy at the bottom. And again, it is built in to WordPress. So it's something every website needs to have. All right, so those were the essential pages of a successful website. Now what I want to talk about are other pages you might want to have on your site. And remember, I will be taking questions at the end of the presentation. Testimonials. Testimonials page. I love testimonials. I love giving testimonials. I love getting testimonials. Here's the screenshot. And I called mine stories because that's kind of a more interesting name than testimonials, but some people call it testimonials. I think I also called it stories because it was a shorter word. This is where you showcase the success stories or case studies of the people who have worked with you. So find recent clients and ask them to give you a testimonial. And after someone goes through the website creation workshop, we always ask them for a testimonial. Testimonials are good to collect right after you've worked with a person, when they're still feeling the warm glow of success with you. So if the soonest you can collect or ask for them, the better. But you can also go back to your old clients and ask for testimonials later. And it's also a great way to get feedback to improve your coaching services, your consulting services, your online courses. Sometimes people will give you really good feedback when they give you a testimonial. So here's some different ideas to name your testimonials page. You might call them case studies, you might call them success stories, or testimonials. And one of my students, he called it People I've Helped. So that was the name of his testimonials page. You can also call it rave reviews. You can add testimonials to your home page as well. So on my home page, when you scroll down, there are some blurbs and screenshots, testimonial screenshots. Or you can have them on your sidebar. So here's an example of a testimonial on my sidebar. All right, so now I'm moving on to, and I hope I'm not going too fast. If I'm going too fast, let me know in the chat box if I'm going too fast, but I will be taking questions. I love questions. I love interactive calls. I love helping people. All right, frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions, or FAQ, is where you list the commonly asked questions and answers to make it easy for your website visitors to find the information they're looking for. Also, having an FAQ page on your website can reduce the amount of time you spend responding to client inquiries. So, FAQ won't apply to everybody. Like, for example, if you're an author, you might not have an FAQ page because you're showing off your books. But if you work with clients, or if you're a speaker and somebody wants to book you, having an FAQ, or if you teach online courses, having an FAQ page is great to have. So it could either be about how people work with you, or you might define the terms of your industry. So if you are a healer, you might have explain the terms of healing, like what are essential oils. So that's what's here in my examples. How do you work with your clients? What is business coaching? Maybe how is business coaching different from life coaching? What are the health benefits of using essential oils, etc.? So you get to decide, do you want your FAQ page to be how people work with you, or to explain terms of your industry, or maybe a little bit of both? So with an FAQ page, it lets people find the answers to their simple question anytime they want. Like if I'm going to contact a company, I'll look at their FAQ first because maybe I've got the answer there. And here's one of my students, Mango Johnstone, and she does astrology consulting. And so she answers questions about how her astrology readings work. And on her FAQ page, if you can see my cursor, there are these little tabs, and when you click, they open up. This is called an accordion, by the way. So these tabs open up. She's totally non-techie, and she built this great site herself. Now, this gal who's a coach, and I know we have some coaches here listening to me. We have authors, we have healers, we have consultants, we have a whole range of people listening. And as I'm showing these examples, just think about how it would apply to you. So on her Work With Me coaching page, her FAQ is kind of built in, right? So this is her Work With Me, and then she's got questions about coaching. And I know it's a little faint, but when you click on each of these, it shows the answers. So on my FAQ page, I answer the questions about my beginner website creation workshop course, which is going to be starting very soon. I also have an intermediate website building course called the Website Marketing Workshop. So my FAQ answers the questions of the difference between the two. All right, so now I was going through all these different pages on your site. Let's talk about your blog. Okay, so under the blog, you'd have different articles, right? So your blog, some people refer to it as their newsletter, or some people call it their tips, and I'll show you some other examples. A blog is a wonderful way to market yourself by writing content-rich articles. When people come to your website, they want to know who you are, what you think, and how you can help them. Your home and about pages will get them off to a good start, but you want to give them more. On your blog, you can write about common issues people have in your market, create engaging article titles for your blog posts, and people will find them when they search in Google. So the great thing about having a blog and posting articles is that Google will notice, hey, this website has activity, and it is then more inclined to show you in the search results. You can also share them and have your friends and clients share them on social media. So you don't have to be on social media or love social media to make your articles available for other people to share on social media, which in turn can bring you more potential clients to your website. So here is my blog, websitecreationworkshop.com/blog. And my blog is what's referred to as a magazine style. So I have all these different, and I should have a zoomed out version of this, but I have all these different articles people can click on. And then here's one single article, right? 5 tips for planning your blog posts. And down here, this is the URL, also known as a slug. So websitecreationworkshop.com/blog/marketing, because this blog post is in the category called marketing, and then planning your blog posts. So notice the URL link matches what it's about. All right, so with blog posts, you can create evergreen articles or you can create current event articles. And I'm going to explain what the difference is between evergreen and current events. And you might already know, but I'm going to go through this explanation anyways. An evergreen article is an article that is relevant last week, last month, next year. It's not tied to the news. So like the Super Bowl, that would be a news-related article that then becomes sort of outdated. But here's an article on what is a WordPress plugin, right? Because I teach WordPress, I've got an article to explain what a plugin, because not everybody who's getting started building a website knows what a plugin is. Then I also have current event articles. So this is a current event article will become outdated because it's about an event in time. Like I mentioned, the Super Bowl or the Academy Awards is an event in time. And the Super Bowl and the Academy Awards happen every year, but when it's the middle of the summer, people aren't thinking about that. Anyway, so when WordPress comes up with new versions, I always do an article about what's new in the latest version. And for those of you who don't know, this is sort of fun. I'm a jazz music aficionado. They name all their versions after a jazz musician. All right, so your blog posts can be anything. It can be about anything you want. It is your content marketing. So content marketing is a term you may have heard, and if you've heard the term content marketing, you can say yes in the chat if you want to. Content marketing is where you are marketing your business but giving them content, right? So I put out a blog post a week and it is pure content. It's not selling them on anything. So sometimes you're selling someone, like trying to convince them to work with you, or you're trying to convince them to buy your program. And sometimes you're doing almost like a public service announcement. So if you're a healer, maybe somebody doesn't know the benefits of essential oils. So you might write an article on the benefits of essential oils. Or if you're a coach, you might write an article on the 10 things to ask before you hire a business coach. So that is called content marketing. So here's Natasha, and her blog is on her healing journey and other people's healing and different ways to heal. This gal, really interesting, one of my other students, her name is Nancy. She posts about what she teaches in her course. So she has a course on the Akashic Records, and here are all her articles about the Akashic Records. Benefits from learning Akashic, giving thanks, why learn the Akashic Records equals God's memory. And then when you click, right, like if I was going to click on our blog post, then I get into this article, right? So this article is all about, why learn the Akashic Records. And then she can share this, or she can email this out if she's got an email list to teach people about the Akashic Records. Now this student, moving on to another example, she decided to use her blog for her client case studies. So instead, she's a copywriter. So instead of writing articles about copywriting, she's just sharing what she did with her clients. And this is a great uh, thing to have and a great way to use the blog. So she doesn't even have the word blog up here. She just has read success stories. And notice how she doesn't have the date on there. So it becomes evergreen, meaning she doesn't have to feel the pressure to being publishing all the time. She just, as she gets a new success story, she writes an article about it. All right, moving along. And I see we have lots of good questions coming in, and I will be getting to questions. Moving along to terms and disclaimers. So terms and conditions or earnings disclaimers, every industry has something different. You can add these links to any kind of legal stuff you need in the footer of your website. And you can do this later. Check with your industry to see what kind of disclaimers you need. So that is that's what I have to say about terms, conditions, and earnings disclaimers. All right, so your website wireframe, I've gone through this a little bit quickly, but I want to kind of keep the pace moving. Now we can talk about your home page, right? So your home page, I like to talk about the home page last. Now, before I talk about the home page last, I just want to get this out of the way because I know we're going to get questions about landing pages. So I'm going to just take a little moment now before I dive into the home page to talk about the difference between a home page and a landing page. So your home page is like websitecreationworkshop.com, right? I also have christinasrecipes.com, right? That is my home page to my site, and I have a menu at the top. A landing page is a special page that you build that has one purpose. And the purpose was, this was for the essential pages of a successful website. I have this PDF download, and you click and you enter your name and email. So this was a list building page to give somebody something in exchange for their email. On this landing page, you typically don't have a menu like you see on the left. Sorry, my cursor's not bigger. So when you come to a home page, a person might click around and do a lot of different things. On a landing page, there's really just one thing to do. So that's the difference between a landing page and a home page. And if you have more questions about that, I can answer that during the Q&A. All right, so back to your home page. So on your home page, it should be about them, not you. When people visit your home page, it should be about their problem and why they're coming to your site. Most people make the mistake of their home page showing off what a great expert they are, but you don't want to do that on your home page. When someone lands on your site, they want to know how you can solve their problem, right? So your home page is about them. Your About Us page is about you. So I'm just going to say that one more time. Your home page should all be about them and their thoughts and desires and how you can help them. But your About Us page then brags a little bit more about you. Now, it is easier to work on your home page last because as you build your site, your mission will become clearer. As you create your website, as you put together your products or your programs or your services or your About Us or your FAQ, etc., all this will help you and then to then have the right words and what to say on your homepage. So work on your homepage last. All right, so on your homepage, you want to have a clear call to action, right? So call to action is what action do you want the visitor to take? So you want to have a goal in mind when you create your homepage. This is why it's best to do it last. What do you want someone to do when they come to your site? Do you want them to call you, sign up for a free session, have a discovery session, join your email list? For some people, it might be buying something from you. You know, like Amazon. Amazon, they want you to buy something, right? Because they're a big online store. So, and we're not creating Amazon sites. But, maybe you want them to register for something. Maybe you do a weekly free group coaching call. It's going to be different for each person. So on my home page, I've got this click here to learn more about the website creation workshop. On Natasha's home page, her call to action is to schedule a discovery session. So, you come to her site and it says proven solutions for busy overachievers to heal stress, induce chronic pain, and the damage it does to the body. So this is already, she's telling you how she can solve your problem, and then you can click to schedule a discovery call. This is Denise, who also took my class, and this is what you see when you get to her home page. An evolutionary method of self-love and healing. Rediscover the beauty within the masterpiece of your own life and self. And then when you scroll down, your true self is waiting. Get in touch and explore your possibilities. So this is scrolled down from this page. And yes, she did this herself in the website creation workshop. This one, Deborah, her call to action is to schedule an appointment. She's got that up at the top. She also has free productivity tips on her site. And listen, don't be a perfectionist. When you build your website yourself, you can always update it later. So this is one of the reasons why my mission has been to help people know how to build their websites themselves, even if you're not techie, because that frees you up to not worry about being perfect. All right, so these were the essential pages: home, programs, about, contact, privacy policy, and then these are some of the pages you can add later: your blog, your testimonials, your FAQ, and terms. Now there's some other things you can add to your website. This might not apply to everybody, but we'll give you some ideas. You can have your site in multiple languages. My program is an international program, and so I've got people from all over the world taking the website creation workshop. Hers is in Spanish, and I should have written this down. I think this is in Czech. Her website's in Czech. And this gal, she has a little button and it actually switches back and forth between English and Spanish. You can also have book reviews. So many authors like to do this. So Tanya Ann, she's got a tab called book reviews. And then Andrea Susan, here was a screenshot of one of her book reviews. So reviewing other people's books. Again, won't apply to everybody. Some people want to have a podcast, so you can have a podcast on your website. So this gal does pilot flight training, and she has a podcast. And then this gal is an intuitive coach, and she has a podcast. So podcasting and WordPress go great together. Now you can also add videos to your website, and I like to add YouTube videos. You can also add Vimeo videos. The way you do that is you embed a YouTube video on your site. Here's a screenshot of a video I found from somebody else that I embedded on my site. And I'll be teaching how to embed a YouTube video on your website in my upcoming live webinar next week. And so you're going to want to come to that, where I'm going to go deeper into WordPress and then one of the demos I'm going to give is how to embed a YouTube video. So if you could put this link in the chat, websitecreationclass.com/webinars. There are 3 different webinars I'm teaching, so you can pick that. And this is a free training, so you can pick that for next week. And I'll talk more about web designers, and I'll talk more about WordPress, and I'll talk about theme design and how to make changes, and so it's a very interactive. It's a lot of fun. So just go to websitecreationclass.com/webinars. And I am ready to take questions. So I'm going to. All right, Joanna. I know we have, excuse me, I know we have a lot of questions, and I am happy to go through all the questions that came in. So here is the question box. I'm going to open enrollment for my class next week. I'm trying to find the other slide. I want to take, while you're pulling questions up, I want to take this poll again because some people missed this in the beginning or they didn't get here at the very beginning. So while you are gathering questions, I'll have this poll up. And
Okay.
I want to just remind people that I'm doing that other class next week on that goes more into depth on WordPress. All right, Joanna, while the poll's up, why don't you ask me some easy questions that don't require visuals?
That don't require visuals. Okay. Diane was wondering if a landing page is called a funnel. Is that the same thing?
That's a great question. So, and I think somebody else asked a question about a landing page or a regular website. So a landing page is a page that you go to, and that was the page actually you came to come to this webinar. So landing page kind of starts a funnel. And what a funnel is somebody lands on a web page, they put in their name and email, then they get into your system, and the system will send them emails and follow-ups and maybe webinar invitations. So everybody can have a different kind of funnel. So I just recommend when you're starting out, not worry about the funnel part. You want to get your website up so that people can find you. And yes, the poll is up. If you could just click on the screen, even if you took it before, why don't you take it again? Okay, Joanna, back to you, or should maybe I'll end. No, people are still voting in the poll.
Okay. So Aditi was asking, if I have all contact info in my footer, do you think it's still necessary to have a contact page?
I think it's a good idea because not everybody's going to look at the footer. Some will, some won't. So I would also have a contact page. Belinda's not seeing the poll. It might be hidden behind something else. I don't know what the poll looks like if you're on a web browser, but I'm seeing Belinda can't see the poll. So it might be hidden. So anyway, contact us pages are easy to make, and I can go and show mine. All right, I think I'm ready to close this poll, and the results are similar to last time, so I'm not going to share those results. I just want to mention, if you didn't get the download that goes along with this presentation, we have this link that'll take you to the download page. And Joanna, maybe you can put that in the chat. websitecreationclass.com/essential pages-download. And we will be sending this out as a replay. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of PowerPoint. Hold on one second. And let me bring up my browser. Okay. All right, so this is an example of a landing page. This is for today's training, and you would click to opt in. I know that's, you all have opted in, and that's how you got here for today's call, and I got some testimonials here. The next training next week, and I know Sean was asking a lot of questions about WordPress, is I'm going to go deeper into creating a website in WordPress. So today's call was more overview general. Next week we'll go in depth. And there are 3 different days. It's all going to be the same call. So the same content, but the Q&A will be different. So if you want, you can come to more than one, but you know, just pick one of them to come, and the times are slightly different to try to accommodate different time zones.
Okay. Sorry, we have a lot of questions coming in. Okay. So let's see here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go to, no, not that page. I'm going to go to my blog and go to my About page and click to my contact page, because I talked during the presentation, I talked about coming to my contact page. So this is my Contact Us page. I have a form. I also have info about how we get back to people and what days we take off during the holidays. And then our email, we have a customer support and a testimonial feedback line, our mailing address. And then I also have my social links. So, and I don't really use Clubhouse much anymore, so I think I'll minimize Clubhouse. Do any of you use Clubhouse? I don't hardly use it anymore. During the pandemic, I did. Okay, let's, oh, I know what I want to do. I want to go to my blog homepage while I'm waiting for, and this was today's call. All right, Joanne, I'm ready for you to read out another question.
Yes. Elaine says, does the website create the slug, or do we create them manually for each page?
Great question. The website creates that for you. You don't have to create it at all. So for example, websitecreationworkshop.com, I'll go to my About page. So my slug, which is the same as the URL, says about-Christina Hill. So it creates that, but you could change it if you wanted to just have about us. So if I go to, so here was an article. Oh, this one's more fun. 6 things to ask when picking a WordPress theme. See this, it's a little hard to see and I can't zoom in, but the slug is created automatically.
Okay, sounds great. Anthony was asking, do you recommend a one-page website or a multi-page website?
I recommend having to start with is your main site, which is a multi-page site. And then from there, you can create landing pages or one-page sites. So let me just copy this and paste this in here. So that's what I recommend. Hold on. Essential pages. So this is my landing page. This is the PDF that goes along with today's webinar, but you didn't need it to be on the webinar. So this is my landing page, and you click to opt in, and then you get to the thank you page. And I can demo that if we want, but I think we should get through the questions that people have.
Yes, we do have a lot of questions that have come in. So Sue says, call to action question. I realize there are different types of call to actions depending on your goal, but should it always be above the fold?
Not necessarily. So, like if it's an article, so how to find and fix broken links. This is for people who already have a WordPress site. So I give suggestions. I have a video, and this one just has concluding thoughts, and you can share it. So for a landing page, yes, the call to action should be above the fold. If it's your main website, no, it doesn't need to be above the fold. And for those of you who don't know what above the fold is, it's a newspaper term. When you got a newspaper, the newspaper was folded and the important stuff was above the fold of the newspaper.
Okay, so Sue was asking specifically, I guess, for the homepage. Would you have the call to action on the homepage above the fold?
Yes. So here
Okay,
I've got, click here to learn more.
got it.
So yes, if you can, maybe it's an opt-in. So this is my landing page to opt in for this checklist and video and webinar.
Okay, so Fiona says, I have a professional optometry website and want to simplify it. Is it okay to put information in the FAQ and blogs for patients and reduce the number of pages?
Yeah, if that makes sense, yeah. I would do that. If you want to simplify it, yeah, put it in your FAQ.
Okay. And Elaine was asking, is the landing page created on your website or is it a standalone page?
So the landing page, you can go different ways. It can be like, for example, if you just go to website creation class.com, this is my landing page for coming soon because the enrollment's going to open next week for my course, the Website Creation Workshop, and I'm going to talk more in detail about that next week on the webinars next week. So this is a landing page for to get on the early bird. Oh no, I guess yeah, we changed that. Okay. It's to get you to come to this webinars page. So I have 2 pages. Does that make sense? You can have, see, I have websitecreationclass.com/essential pages, websitecreationclass.com/webinars. Hopefully I answered that. I know
Okay.
you're sorting through
I am.
questions.
Okay, yes. Janet says, can you address options for getting people to sign up for newsletters on a website?
Options. I don't know what she means by options for getting people to sign up.
I guess different ways to make people want to give you their email address.
Well, so I'm on my main website and I'm on my success stories page. I was just going to look up students who have astrology websites, but I have in the sidebar a way for people to sign up. So there's lots of different ways for people to sign up. You could have it in your sidebar. You could, let me open this in a new tab. Let me look. I have it in my, this is called an author box, and it's built into WordPress. And I have a link to my free checklist here. So you can put it in lots of different places. I'd also put it in your email signature as well.
And then just having like a good free gift that
Having
can,
a good free gift. Yes.
okay, that they want it, so they want to give you their email address.
Exactly, exactly. And I have a second one. I don't know everyone here got that email. I have one for a roadmap. Is it just called roadmap? Yeah. So I have two landing opt-in. I have two opt-in offers. Right. So one is the essential pages, and then this is the non-techies roadmap to website success. So you can opt in for both of those.
Okay. Now, Elaine says, I'm not clear. Is the landing page part of your website? It doesn't have a tab, or is it a hidden page that comes up when someone has the link?
So you can do it multiple different ways, Elaine. So this, you can add it to your website. It could just be a link that you give people. It sort of depends what's going on. So what I do at the top is I have a link, you know, free. I also have it on the right-hand side to send people to my landing page. And then this is for my next workshop to opt in to get on the notification list. And actually, we'll be updating that so it goes to this page. So it's not a straight answer. It's, you can have it, it can happen in multiple ways. So it doesn't have to be a tab. It can be a hidden page. Yeah, okay, good. That clears it up for her.
Now, we have a few people asking about the class next week.
Okay.
Barbara was asking the date and time, and is there a fee?
Great question. So let me show it. So if you go to websitecreationclass.com/webinars and you click to opt in, it's free. There's no fee to come to this. And the date and time, I've got Wednesday the 17th, Thursday the 18th, Friday the 19th. It's 3 days in a row. They will be the same webinar, so you don't have to come to all of them. The first one is at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, that's New York time. The second one is at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern New York, and Pacific's California, and then Friday's earlier. So just pick whichever one you want to come to, and you enter your name and your email, put your phone number in if you want text reminders.
Okay. And then we had a couple folks, Barbara, Aditi, I'm not sure if someone else was asking, just what will be covered on that class?
So if you scroll down, you can see what's covered. So today was a general of the different web pages you need without going too techie. Then the one next week, I'm going to talk more about how WordPress websites work, how hosting works and domain names. I'm going to talk about theme design. I'm going to explain more about plugins. I know Sean was asking about different plugins, and I'm going to talk about I'm going to show case studies of my students who've been through the website creation workshop. I am going to talk about the course, the website creation workshop, and enrollment is going to open next week. So, and I'm going to do WordPress demos. I'm going to show how to embed a YouTube video on a website. So, Kim, I'll walk you through aspects of building a website, but that's what my 10-week course is all about. So I'm going to go into details about the 10-week course and give you an invitation for the 10-week course, but I'm going to kind of cover a lot of different things. And Susan, the price, we're still working the details out on the prices and the bonus for the 10-week course, so that will happen next week. And if you go to, we have an early bird announcement. So if you go to website creation class, oh no, you can't opt in anymore for that. Okay. I think if you go here, you can get the early bird announcement.
Okay. So a different Barbara. I feel like we have at least 3 on today's webinar.
Yeah.
But this Barbara says, I have an email form on my contact us page and I get so many spam comments or spam, people filling out the form. And is there a way to prevent the spammers from using the form?
There are ways you can do CAPTCHA, which they have to answer a little question. So there are ways to stop the spammers. What spammers do is they go out there and they're not evil. Well, they're sort of evil, but they're not hackers, right? So spammers are not hackers. And I wrote an article on that. Spammers versus hackers. So the difference between spammers and hackers, right? So spammers are going to opt in and they have robots doing that, and they're doing that just because they want you to click on their links. So there are ways to, and here's a screenshot. There are ways to block spammers to, actually, I'm going to put this in the chat. And I don't want to get too techie, but there's a way to add CAPTCHA to your site so that it slows down. You know how you see when you go to a site and you opt in and they say, click on all the motorcycles or click on all the traffic lights? You can add that to your site. Do you have a WordPress site? Does she have a WordPress site? She should let us know.
I'm not sure on that one.
Oh, well, Barbara has this great question about wanting to have a, here, I'll click on this. Wanting to have a blog with articles, but not have to have conversations. So you can turn off your comment box and just have the articles. So that's what I would do. If you don't want that interaction, you can just turn that off. And then people can read your articles, you can email them, but you don't have to have comments on. Okay. And if you want to see me doing a Julia Child impersonation, this is a pretty funny video where Julia Child is creating a WordPress blog post. I'll put that in the chat.
Okay. Right. Christina, we have several kind of WordPress questions as far as, Amanda, her name recently changed, and so she's wondering how to go about changing her URL without changing the online presence that she's built. Barbara's asking about images, where to find images, and we have a few other WordPress type questions there.
So I'm going to cover, I want to keep this call more general overview, and I'm going to go more in depth in WordPress next week and talk about plugins and how to get images. So I would sign up for one of those for next week. And I want to show this. I don't know if Sean is still here. Again, this is one of my students. She's got an astrology website, and this is an accordion. So she's got an accordion on her FAQ page where you can click and open and close it. Let me go to, I'm going to go to the graphics creation workshop. This is my other program on creating graphics without being a graphic designer. So this is also a landing page. So this is a different course. Let me scroll down. So here I have, and I always get it mixed up between toggle and accordion. So this, when you click, it opens up the FAQ. Whereas Mangoes, when you click to open a different one, oh no, I guess it also does it that way. So I hope this wasn't too techy. But anyhow, back to your question. Next week is the training that goes more deep into WordPress.
Okay, so Tari was asking how to create like a drop-down menu in WordPress, so that would be more for next week.
Yeah, and I can cover that during the Q&A when I go into the back end of a WordPress site.
Okay, sounds good. So we do have a question from Aditi. I have multiple divergent services with different skill sets. Is it generally better to have multiple services pages or multiple websites or different URLs, or how would you handle that?
And I turn my camera back on. Let me know if it's getting in the way of seeing my screen, because I can turn it back off. She's got multiple services. You know, it sort of depends. You might want to have different websites, or you might have one website. So it's hard to answer that in a blanket way. So like, let's say you're a lawyer, or you're in, let's say you're in the healthcare industry, health services, but you're also a master gardener and your expertise in roses. Those are so different. I'd have them as two different websites. But let's say you're a healer and you have different modalities. So maybe you use essential oils and Reiki, and you teach yoga and meditation. That kind of goes together. So that all depends. People were asking, will next week's class be recorded? Yes, but the Q&A might not be included in the recording. So the calls will be recorded again. They'll be the same content, but the Q&A is going to be different. So it's fine to come to one and then come back for the others if you want to come just for the Q&A.
Okay. Diane was asking, where do the affiliate marketing links go?
Where do the affiliate marketing links go? You can put them wherever you want. So you could have affiliate marketing links on your sidebar. You could have a resources at the top. In fact, I don't have that. Let's see if I have my resources at the bottom. Yes, so you could have, I have helpful links and I've got resources here. So, but you might decide to have your resources at the top. So your affiliate links can go anywhere. And does everybody know what an affiliate link is? So an affiliate link is where you sign up to be someone's affiliate. So for example, I'm an affiliate of these different hosting companies. And if somebody purchases, then I get a tiny commission. So you could, that's what an affiliate is.
Okay, sounds good. Melissa was wondering, is there an undo command in WordPress? She recently deleted something accidentally, immediately knew it was a mistake, but she couldn't find a way to undo.
Well, if you haven't saved, you can do a Control Z. So Control Z is undo, just like it is in Microsoft Word. And also with WordPress, there are revisions. So if you have revisions turned on, you can go back to an earlier revision.
Okay.
And Amy and I will be showing booking clients online next week in one of the in the training call that I'm going to do next week. These are all really good questions.
Yes. Now, Sean has several more WordPress questions, Sean, that would be better for next week if you can bring those then. But talking about spam comments, Sean said that he has a spam plugin installed, Akismet, but he said it doesn't seem to do much of anything unless you pay a subscription fee. Can you
Yeah,
comment on that?
so and I want to just bring, this is that download page for today's call. And so, okay, back to Akismet. So what Akismet does is it stops, spam comments. So here's one of my articles. Authors build an author website instead of a book website. And let's see if I have the comments on. So I have, oh, I actually turned them off. So Akismet is supposed to stop your spam comments. I used to have it. Now they make you pay for it to work well, so I don't use it anymore. But you don't have to have comments. Like this is a case study from Mango, Johnstone, and I don't have comments on. Sean, the problem, and it's kind of a big disappointment, since social media came out, a lot of people don't comment on blogs anymore. So some people decide just to keep it some people decide just to keep it just to turn off your comments. Okay, somehow I lost my screen too.
Are you ready for another question,
Yes.
or do you need to sort that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where did that question go?
Over here. I'm going to put this in the I'm going to send this to everybody. We'll also send this by email, but there might be a few of you who are somehow not on our email list. I know our system for a couple of people didn't get through. So if you don't get an email tomorrow, right? Are we sending it out tomorrow or tonight? I'm not sure. Well, either tonight or tomorrow. If you
Yes.
don't get the replay email, email me or email support at Website Creation Workshop, and we'll make sure that you're in our email system.
Okay. Okay, so next question we had is Christina.
And I think, Joanna, why don't we go till the bottom of the hour? I have 1:21, so
okay.
we can go till 1:30. And then if people have more questions, want to come live, come to one of the webinars next week.
Perfect.
So
Sounds good.
so that it's not confusing, I'm going to send out an email next week to come to the webinars, but I'm also going to send an email about my enrollment for the full course is open. So you're going to see both of those.
Okay, so Christina was asking, as an affiliate, do you need to put a disclaimer about receiving commissions from the links if they purchase through your link, or is it enough to just say that it's an affiliate link?
I have a disclaimer at the bottom in my footer. Some of the links listed on the site are affiliate links, and if clicked and purchased, we may receive a small compensation for the recommendation. So sometimes you get sometimes you get paid a small amount, sometimes you don't get anything. So I have it as a disclosure in my footer. And some people do put it in there next to the actual link. Yeah, here, I put it on this page. So I have a disclosure here. So it's a good idea to do that.
Okay, sounds good. And then,
okay, Sean, I hope to see you next week. Sean says he's got to run.
okay. Kim says, I write short pet-related articles for local newspapers. Would it be okay to post the same article as my blog?
Okay, where does she post it? I would post it on your blog first. But where does she post it?
She said they are for local newspapers.
Oh, that she writes articles for?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what your agreement is with a newspaper and who owns the rights to your content, but Kim, I would definitely put them on your blog. So if you own it, I would publish it first on your blog, so then there's like proof that you put it out there first, and then yeah, have it go into the newspaper. So absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
generally it's good to post things to your own site first. A lot of people repost to like LinkedIn, but I would put it on your site first, then Google knows, hey, it was first published on my site. Now, I just want to comment that there are a lot of questions and we're going to get through as many as we can, but there's a chance we don't get to every question. So definitely come next week.
Sounds good. Okay. Jean was wondering, do you use the Divi theme or recommend it?
I use the Divi theme on many of my sites. So I use it on the graphics creation workshop. I'm using it on the website creation workshop, but I don't use it on all of my sites. I also use it on Christina's recipes, which is another one of my sites because I'm a foodie. I don't know if we have any foodies here. But I also have a site called Quest for the Divine, which I'm still building and I'm still getting my email opt-in. And this is not on Divi. So if you don't want to use the Divi theme, you don't have to. But I use it on a lot of my sites. But I
Okay.
have a lot of students like she didn't use the Divi theme. So I have a lot of, if you come to my examples, you can see a lot of different examples of students who've been through my course. And actually, next week, we're going to show more of these case studies of people and what themes they've used. Like this gal, she is not, let me click to Deborah Austin, and she's not using the Divi theme. So I don't know if that person asked because they have Divi and they want to learn it better or that they don't want to use Divi.
Okay, I'm not sure either, but
Yeah.
yes, okay. So Kat has a question. Kat says, this is great info, thanks. I have a WordPress website that is not active yet. I'm just starting the process. I purchased templates from a creator and they were uploaded. I was going to use them to create a page, etc. However, would I be better off if I take your courses and disregard the templates? I haven't started learning how to use them.
Okay, Kat, I'm going to talk about this more next week, but let me answer your question. So for everybody who's here, whatever you have, like just hold on to it and don't do anything. Because in my 10-week program, the website creation workshop, I'm going to start you from the beginning and take you to an expert level. So you may decide as you go through the program, hey, I want to use something easier, or you're like, wow, I can't believe how much Christina has taught me. I can now know how to use all these templates. So, everybody's slightly different. Some people keep their sites really, really simple and use a free theme, all free plugins, and other people go deeper. Like I think Mangoes was free. And let me just show you one of my recent favorite, okay, recent favorite sites. I forget her name, so I'm going to look her up. Ulrika. She is using a free theme and she recently got it up. She's not using Divi and it is just absolutely gorgeous. And she's a non-techie, and she learned how to do this herself. She's in England. Oh, she has, let me look at her book with me. She has a free discovery call or book time with her. And so she, again, non-techie, took the website creation workshop and created this herself. So Kat, I'm answering you. Just leave alone what you have. And in the website creation workshop, we're going to give you, when you sign up for the 10-week course, we're going to give you a WordPress website that you can use yourself. So it's like a practice site. So you can leave alone what you have, and you don't need to get web hosting for those of you who don't have a site yet. So my 10-week training, which I'll go into depth next week, covers people who have never had a website before, or people who have a website, like Kim says she found Divi confusing. So, and I can demystify that, Kim, for you. Did I answer that? Okay, so Kat is asking, do the modules drop all at once or one per week? I don't have 10 weeks to build, but I'm happy to be in the 10-week course. So Kat, it's a go at your own pace program. So I used to do once a week a module was opened, and people didn't like that. So now it's like Netflix, so you can binge the course if you want, and you can do the course in a weekend, a week, 2 weeks, whatever you want. Some people take longer, some people go slower, but as you complete a module, the next module, Kat, will open up.
Okay, sounds good. So Christina, we are at the bottom of the hour.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
know we didn't get through all of the questions by far, but I'll get that link for the training next week in the chat for everyone.
Okay.
And
let me just comment what Susanna was asking. The classes, Susanna, are live, but just like today, like I'm doing this Q&A, I'm answering different people at the level they're at. So the training, I have little tiny mini videos. Like I'm not very patient, so I like videos to be like 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long, short, Susanna. So the course is like Netflix. You binge watch it when you want, and then we have weekly classes, live classes like this that you come to, where you interact and I can give you feedback. So like if I was going to give Ulrika feedback, we'd be looking at the site she's building, or if I was going to give Deborah feedback, and you'll notice everybody's different and has a different look. See how different these vibes are all, right? So this is astrology, it's kind of mystical. She's a business, very straightforward business-like, and then this gal is a healer. So, and Susanna, why don't you email me and I can sort of answer your San Diego question. Christina@websitecreationworkshop.com. I send a lot of emails, so if for some reason nobody gets an email, you'll want to email me and see if somehow you got booted off. Okay, Joanna, I think we gotta go because this has been 90 minutes. And again, if you didn't get your question answered today, come to one of the calls next week, and it will start with a presentation like I did, and then it will go into Q&A.
Sounds great.
Okay. I don't think, I don't think I have any ending polls. I think we can just end it here.
Yeah, we just have a lot of thank you. Thanks for all the great information.
Yeah.
Diane said you helped me cut this confusion. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So, I think we're good.
Yes. Yeah, this is so exciting. This has been a really great class. I've loved everybody here. Next week will be a lot of fun. And again, My goal is to teach the non-techie. Like, it's not to turn you into a tech nerd. It's to help you decide, okay, I need this, I don't need that. That's techie, I'm not going to bother with that. This I can handle. And everybody who takes my program gets to decide if they want a site with many, many pages, or maybe they just want a landing page, or maybe they want a tiny 5-page website. Like, it's really exciting, and this is why I've been doing it for 17 years. So anyway, thank you, Joanna, and everybody else on my team. Look for the replay email. That'll have the replay and the PDF download if you didn't get it. If you don't get the email, email me or my support team, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.